could you introduce yourself, because we've got some new members on the call, and I want to make sure that they all feel, fully included and know who we all are.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm Bratton Fennell, and I guess I'm a big proponent of I eat healthy. I was a health nut when I got this. So.
He's the keto diet guy.
Yeah, keto.
And Bratton, remind us when you were diagnosed.
I was March of 2017, but I should have been probably in January because they kept checking me to see if I'd had a stroke until they did an MRI. But I got locked on in the office, and I passed out at the end of the Boston Marathon in 2016.
Wow.
So, and I'm sure it's because of my brain tumor.
Yeah.
Oh, couldn't have anything to do with the marathon, huh, Bratton?
No, I run 12 or 13 marathons before that, so I don't think so. But I just had a bad headache, and it was right where my tumor was.
That'll do it.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you, Bratton. Lynn, would you like to say a few words of introduction?
Hi, I'm Lynn Oxenberg. I was diagnosed in December of 2017. Went through all the standard of care stuff, and now I'm wearing the Optune device. I don't know if you were all, I think most of you know what that is. See, I'm attached. This is my tail. And I've become an Optune ambassador.
Okay.
Yeah, so so I did a fashion show in Washington, D.C. They're like putting me to work.
Excellent.
Yeah, but it's good. It's all good. Yeah.
And how does that work? Do they compensate you any for that? Or?
They do. But I can't take, they pay for all expenses, and they want to give me a stipend, but I'm on private disability from my company, so I can't take the money. Eventually that will end because it only lasts maybe till the end of 2019. And then after that, I can take the money.
What were they offering, if you might?
Well, they pay for all expenses, and like for a phone call, they give you like $100 for like a buddy call, they call it, or if they send you somewhere, they pay you $500. I mean, I'm not going to get rich on it, but.
Oh, no, but a little extra spending money.
Right, and my husband is probably going to apply to be like a caregiver ambassador, and which means if we go together, I guess he gets money, I get money, whatever. So. But it's, they're keeping me busy. They ask me a million questions because I'm still in the process. The first thing I did before I was actually approved was this fashion show thing, which was amazing. In Philadelphia, CBS, about the Optune device.
That was great.
Yeah, you saw it online. Yeah. They interviewed me with my doctor. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So they did a very quick explanation. They took like a very long interview and reduced it down to like 2.5 minutes, something like that. But they do a good job with that. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's what's going on with me.
And then Hallie, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Hallie Haney, and I was diagnosed March 8th, 2016. And I've been on Avastin and Keytruda for 77 infusions.
Wow.
Yeah, we just counted them.
Wow.
And so I've had over 100 appointments, 25 MRIs to the brain, and it was interesting adding it all up. Yeah. But, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I mean, I forget things all the time and leave the stove on and do silly things like that and forget where the car is. But in my perspective, the object is just to be able to walk and talk and communicate.
And wake up and see the sun every day.
Exactly.
Don't you wonder sometimes if you would have forgotten some of those things anyway? Because I was a little bit of an airhead before. So
what's all that noise?
If I'd have done it anyway. So.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good way to introduce Michelle. Michelle?
Hey, Michelle.
Would you like to introduce yourself and share a little bit about your story?
Now, I'm a caregiver. Are caregivers welcome?
Very welcome.
Okay. My daughter, my name is Michelle Polland. I live in Tallahassee, Florida. My daughter was diagnosed in 2007. And so
Oh,
she
wow.
just has reached the 12-year mark.
Wow.
She has really significant chronic fatigue. She has kind of chronic nausea that comes a couple days a week. She has lots of short-term memory issues. So she makes lists of everything she needs to do for the day. She has had no recurrence. The MRI 3 months ago showed a vascular change. Her tumor was in the left frontal lobe, and it was 7 centimeters, so it was really big. But there was a vascular change, and she just this week we go to Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, and it was stable. So we're really lucky, and I'm just trying to make all the connections. I still read things every day. She doesn't worry about things. She said she has a mom who'll do that for her.
Oh,
She's 36 now and lives with me, and I'm sure she always will. And
well, welcome, Michelle. What a wonderful story. You're obviously a wonderful mother.
Yes, definitely.
well, I have a wonderful daughter. We've really gotten close, and it's really funny. She woke up for her surgery, and she said, "I know it's gone," and of course I didn't believe that, and I don't believe it will ever be totally gone. But she's had no recurrence, which is just
Fantastic.
her doctor says she's just his miracle patient.
Oh,
And she really she did a year on Temodar, and had, of course, the radiation and surgery, and has had, since there's been no recurrence, she's not been on any other medications. She's been a vegetarian since she was in high school, and so she only does organic vegetarian things. So she tries to be very careful about her diet, but she probably would have done that anyway.
right.
So that's our story.
Does she have glioblastoma or a different kind of brain tumor?
She had a GBM, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Hers is exactly the same as mine almost. At a 7 centimeter left frontal lobe, but mine recentered pretty fast. And my surgeon said that doesn't happen all the time. So is hers still pushed over a little bit?
It was in the original MRI. It pushed that midbrain over, but that seemed to go back into place.
Okay. And,
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it's very encouraging. Like really encouraging.
I can see some other people on the call. I think I don't know who ASUS.
Yeah, who's ASU? That whoever that was upside down when I saw the person.
Maybe somebody from Australia. ASUS.
yeah.
I think this might be me. I'm a little technologically challenged, so I have no clue.
Join my club.
Anyhow, my name is Rose Higby Ross.
Oh, hello. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I'm
Lynn,
very
I
nice
just
to-
met you recently.
Yes.
It's nice to see you. We got a pen together for the symposium,
Oh, yeah.
so it's nice to see you.
Wait, where are you? I don't see you though.
Oh, well, that's my secret. I'm just ghosting this production.
Where'd you go? You met me because you were wearing a wig and you were asking me about my bag.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, we were both. Did you stay until I was on the panel?
Yes, and I heard you speak, and I compliment you for the way you,
thank you.
addressed how you're coping with this.
Yeah, there were some newbies there. It was like that were really having a tough time.
Yes, yes.
Rose, would you tell us a bit about your story and when you were diagnosed?
I was diagnosed in February of 2017. Had the standard of care. Doing really, really well up until had to go through a course of the Avastin, and that's left me with some neurological issues, having a little trouble ambulating. So I'm getting some PT now. Trying to get back on track. What else? I am wearing the Optune. That's since June of last year. So just past the 1 year mark with that. My baby, as I call it. Or as I say, I feel like a dog on a leash.
Right. We're attached.
Right, exactly. So, I'm being treated at Penn, so that's how I know Lynn.
Right.
And so far, so good. Just
Great.
one day at a time.
Yep.
And Aurelia, would you like to say hello?
Hello. My name is Aurelia. I'm working with Martha and Jessica at OurBrainBank. I'm kind of have come in to help, well, at the moment, mainly with fundraising. So we're very keen on anyone's ideas for GBM Awareness Day. And it's incredibly nice to meet all you people in the community who are just so incredibly inspiring. So yeah.
She's a good woman. And Martha, would you like to say a word of introduction?
Sure. I'm Martha. I work with Jessica and Aurelia, and I'm the one who had the idea about cracking eggs on your head, which nobody liked.
And then lastly, I want to say a brief hello to introduce my daughter, Emma. Hello.
Hello, Emma.
Hi, Emma.
Hello. A little bit about yourself.
I'm 16 and I'm just like working with OurBrainBank, trying to look at how to gain the followers or like social media platforms, trying to spread awareness. Yeah.
She's 16?
Yeah, I'm 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Looking after mummy.
You know, one thing you ought to do is when my daughter was getting ready to turn 7, we went to the actual, we went to Salzburg and went to the actual greenhouse.
No, when they filmed that scene.
Yeah, we went where they filmed the scene.
Oh, that's a
sang the
great
song and
idea.
everything. So we had a great time. So you need to get, you all need to go do that.
Let's do that. Okay. Thank you. Also, if you don't know me, I'm Jessica, and I was diagnosed with glioblastoma in January 2015. And I followed the standard of care, but in addition, I took an immunotherapy called nivolumab. I took that for 2 years. I used an Optune device for about 15 months. The nivolumab and Optune interacted badly on my scalp, causing great head sores, which is why I don't wear the device at the moment. I stayed on temozolomide for 2 years. So I stopped all treatments on the advice of my doctor in March last year. And please wish me luck, because I got my MRI on Tuesday.
Good luck.
Right?
I have my MRI on Tuesday.
That's good.
Yep, it'll be fine.
I hope one thing I have that's a little exciting is I'm going to see Adrian Scheck and Lenore.
Hang on, we're losing you. You're going to see the nutritionists.
Nutritionist and I don't know if y'all have read or seen any of Adrian's stuff about glioblastoma and the keto diet. She's kind of the queen of it.
Yes, exactly, yes.
And she's the one who's telling me what, but I get to meet her in person. So it'll be the first time I meet her in person. And I'll see if she's willing to get on one of these calls when I see her.
Do you know, I'd love her to do that. I think people would really like that. So please do. I think it'd be great, it'd be much needed. It'd be a great way for her to communicate to others, people who can't necessarily afford, but also might be interested but not sure.
Well, yeah. And, you know, again, I think if you can exercise like I can, I mean, I feel really good on. The only thing you have to watch out for is if you're like me, an overachiever, you have to make sure your glucose stays over 70.
Right.
But I keep berries in the refrigerator. So if it's like 65, I'll eat a handful of blueberries.
Right. Just top it up. Well,
yeah.
So I wanted to, just conscious that always on these calls we have great chats, and then at the end of the call I think, oh no, I never said what I meant to communicate to the group. So I wanted to communicate with you guys and seek your thoughts and have a discussion about the first ever Glioblastoma Awareness Day. Now, as you know, this is one of the very few things that we've been able to secure bipartisan support for. Lindsey Graham and Elizabeth Warren and a bunch of others from both sides of the aisle have agreed to declare July the 17th as Glioblastoma Awareness Day. And so this is the first of what will no doubt be an annual event. We at Our Brain Bank, and I think many in the glioblastoma community, think this is a fantastic opportunity to raise awareness of our disease and to suggest some of the reforms we think are needed that could increase our chances of getting better treatments and ultimately a cure. So I don't know if any other of you have been thinking about this, but would you like to hear what we're proposing?
Yes.
Sure.
So we've been asked, Martha's done an awful lot of this work, I have to say. We've been asking people, what are the things that you think we could do to shift this disease? And so some of the ideas are things like the standard of care that is offered to anybody diagnosed with glioblastoma. What if that included a second opinion?
It's all right.
So in my case, and in many other people's cases, you go to one doctor and you're told, oh, just do standard care, that's enough. And another doctor might say, well, because of your particular mutation, we think there's another drug that might be able to help you. So we've talked about, you know, in the Brain Bank, we've got quite a large advisory team of medics, neuro-oncologists, neurosurgeons, therapists. Hi.
No, but it's the page where it says glioblastoma.
Hi, sorry, I think Michelle's daughter's going to join us.
That was my daughter who.
Oh, that was your daughter. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello.
Lovely to meet you. We're all amazed by you.
Thank you.
I can feel new hero status coming on.
Yes.
I think we have somebody else. We have somebody called Robin, who's currently not on video, but Robin. Hello. Anyway, so basically we've drafted call it a Bill of Rights, a set of reforms that we think that if we could get these enacted would make a real difference. And what I wanted to do was just alert you to this, because we will be doing a survey and asking your input to this, so that if you think it's helpful, you will have your own ideas about what you think should be included. This is a way of getting those ideas. We're talking to the National Brain Tumor Society about it, the NIH, hoping to talk to ABTA and all the other big groups. What do they think should be there? So that we could say, here's what the patients, it's like what the patients need and the patients want.
Jessica, regarding second opinions, what I learned, I went to the NBTS Head to the Hill, and what we learned, because NIH was there, what we learned is that any American citizen is entitled to a second opinion at NIH
for free.
For free.
I know, and if you watch our Twitter feed, I've been doing this. I didn't know that. It's amazing.
No, a lot of us didn't know that, and people, and it doesn't have to be for brain tumors, it's for anything.
I know.
They have complete hospital facilities there and research facilities. The only thing they don't have is emergency rooms, so you have to make an appointment. But you just can't show up. But you are, we are entitled.
Doing that would be in the care.
Yeah,
exactly.
But we're entitled to it. Yeah, we're all entitled to it. So.
And things like we should all be entitled to genetic testing, but not everybody gets it.
Right.
I just met with my oncologist, and he said that they are now doing genetic testing for pancreatic cancer and ovarian as well.
We have amazing doctors, and they're incredibly diligent, and we get Optune, and we get, like you're on the keto trial, and we know about the NIH, and we're also loudmouths. We don't have a problem making a fuss. If I want to call up the NIH, I'll call up the NIH. But we have many of our fellow beings who don't have that.
Right. They don't know what to ask.
As a specialist, they might not have insurance.
Right. Or they don't even know what to ask.
Or the ability.
Right.
Well, one thing, I'm going to have to go in a minute, but I can certainly help with the lobbying. I've been I've lobbied for tax, things. So, and Tim Scott, my aunt runs his office, and
Yes.
Tom Rice. So I can get into those two guys.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I'm going to need to go, but however I can help. I'm not going to be very good on what the Bill of Rights should be. You guys are better at that than I am, but I can help you guys get access if you need me to.
I think that'd be fantastic, Bratton. And maybe, with your access, if we've got any materials that we want to prepare for people to send to their local representatives, you could get your aunt to review it and say this works or not. That kind of.
Well, I mean, I have Tim Scott and Tom Rice's cell phone number.
Fantastic.
So I can get both of them to, and particularly if you guys want to, thing on the Hill.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably can get into, get us into 4 or 5. Like I can get us into we got Joe. The guy from Columbia. He always sees me, and I can get Cunningham to see me too. So I can probably get us into 5 people. Because that's how we used to do it when I go. Is you get to see, you talk to their aide, but then they listen right hand. Joe Wilson will always see me.
Well, next May is again Head to the Hill, and this year in May when I was there is when this whole GBM Awareness Day came up.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the staffers. We didn't say the actual senators and Congress people, but that's where this whole thing. There was this whole rumor going around. Lindsey Graham's going to introduce this bill, and blah 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 blah. It was all happening while we were there.
Great.
So something came out of it. So I would suggest that everybody come next year. It's really it's exciting, and you meet people that are going through the same thing, or it's really a good, it's great networking and great encouragement.
It's been 2 years, and I really enjoyed it. And sadly, I couldn't go this year, but I'll be there next year.
Well, and I could get us in to see Lindsay.
Fantastic. Could you?
I'm a little mad at Lindsay now. But
there are many reasons I think to be mad at Lindsay.
Yes, he's not my favorite person on the Hill, but
yeah,
we have to be nonpartisan.
No, I know, and he's one of my senators.
Oh. Right, South Carolina.
Yeah. So.
Well, Bratton, I want to take you up on that. I think that would be great because I think that the power. Really, there are a couple of things, right? From an advocacy perspective, there are many really good groups. I think the National Brain Tumor Society, in my experience, has been fantastic.
Oh, they're amazing.
I think the American Brain Tumor Association, in my experience, has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed interacting with other groups. I think there are many groups. I think the Masella Foundation, Al does an incredible job. I think the End Brain Cancer, Devon does an incredible job. There are many. What we're trying to do here is have something that's really just the patients. And what that means is it gives us a voice that is slightly distinct and that can help all those other groups just be more effective.
Oh, yeah.
We're all after the same thing.
Life.
We're all after life.
Yeah.
We're all after accelerating research, doing the right kind of research, and having a sense of urgency that this can't wait. And July the 17th is a great opportunity to do that. So that's why we're developing this Bill of Rights. It's a way of attracting interest. We're gonna maybe on the 17th, we might launch a petition and get lots and lots of people to say, yes, we need that. Because that's, again, it's just a way of getting in the door and helping the politicians who are on our side attract more and get the kind of changes that we need. We do need more funding for research into glioblastoma.
Okay.
We do need more clinical trials. We do need greater access for people who aren't like us to the existing treatments. We do need more ways of recognizing that our experience of the disease is insufficiently tracked. And if it was, they'd provide more insight to the researchers, because that's what we're hearing from the researchers. It's not us saying it.
So how do we get to Joe Biden? You know he's on our side.
So I think we've got Joe Biden, but I think he's very busy trying to secure the nomination.
I know.
I was on it. The Biden Cancer Initiative had a big call this week, which I went on, and it was great. And there's a big initiative called Count Me In, which is run out of Dana-Farber and funded by the Emerson Collective. And I can put this on the group, speak to them, because what they're trying to do, they want all of us to access our record and share them in a big database. The bigger, the better. This is for all cancers. And then they can find out more information. And what we're doing at our brain bank in September, will be just the glioblastoma, we'll be launching a whole new clinical trial matching service with nurse navigators. So if you go on a clinical trial, a human being can help you understand how to access your records, store them safely, and then that nurse navigator will find out what trials you should, in theory, be eligible for. So those people who don't have a great doctor, aren't in a special center, they'll be able to say to their doctor, I think I might be eligible for this, can you help me get them on? Rather than waiting for the doctor who's not going to give them.
Yeah, I think that we're all in the thing that we've all had the best treatment. I mean, I feel like I had the best surgeon in the country. Maybe everybody feels that way.
We do, yeah.
But
Well, I think anyone that's made it thus far feels like that way.
Right. We all feel very lucky.
Very, very lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's, I mean, I always like touching base with you guys, and we're all hanging tough. And I don't know about you guys, but I get calls, at least one person a week with glioblastoma that calls me. You probably do too.
We get
yeah, I get them a lot. And I do tell them, I say, everybody's a statistic of one. And I remember when I was going through it, and I was a month in, I wondered what I'd be able to do. I do about everything, which is,
I know,
which is good. And really, since the hard part is when you're going through chemo, I couldn't think, but since, I haven't been on treatment for over a year now, because July of last year was, other than I do still take seizure meds.
Me too.
But other than diet, I wonder if that's okay sometimes. I mean, you guys.
Well, I did actually talk to my doctor about it, and he said that he thought I should he said, once you've had a seizure, best stay on it. But I got to challenge him again on that.
At the Brain Cancer Symposium at Penn, there was an opinion that around the 2-year mark, you could ask your doctor about weaning off of it. And I asked my doctor, because now I've been like 18 months, he goes, let's not talk about it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what mine said. I'm about at 18 months too, because it was December
17.
Of 17 was my last one.
So
I'm 2 bloody years. I think it's time to come off it.
Talk to your doctor.
Jennifer,
3 years. I'll be 3 years in September since I had a seizure.
Well,
Jennifer has stayed on it the full 12 years.
Wow.
She had little partial seizures.
Right.
And so she's hasn't had any difficulty with it, though. She's only had one real major seizure since the initial one that took us to the hospital.
Right.
Other than that, they've just been small events.
Right.
But
Yeah, I haven't had anything, but who knows?
I've had the aura, but it's only, if I'm doing like a 5-mile run and I get a little hot.
What does the aura feel like?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How do you know? What is it?
When I've had seizures, it goes like wah, 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 in my head. And
Oh, that's
y'all ever heard
because
that?
my ear does that. It's like it's like in my ear.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of feel it. And I don't always have a seizure when that happens, but I never I've always had that before I've had a seizure.
Well, I've never had a seizure except for before I was diagnosed, but I've had that feeling in my ear. It's weird.
Is it like a sound, or is it like a sense
It's kind of, yeah, it's a sound, but it kind of feels like it's beat, but it's in, you've described it exactly right.
Yeah, it's more like when you yawn and there's like it's like a funny feeling, but I never attributed it to a seizure at all.
Well, when I've had them, I've had that feeling first, but the last time I had an aura, I stopped, and there was a group, and they gave me water, and I drank the water, and it went away.
Okay.
And my doctor said that, you know, when you get dehydrated, you know, it's June, almost July. So, and my seizure before that, I did a 5-miler when I was on chemo. So I kind of was.
You're pushing too hard.
Yeah. And so I think you have to be careful with your hydration.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that sound is a minor seizure.
That's interesting. And it's right on the side where yeah. Oh, look, Mark's joined us. Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Oh, I'm so glad you could join. It's good to see you.
He's another Penn guy, another guy that's being treated at Penn. Yeah.
That's right.
Mark, so you're raising money for the race, as I am, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rose, are you going to participate in the Race for Hope in October?
I don't know yet.
Okay. If you are, go on raceforhopepa.com and sign up. Just like get yourself a team. No matter how many you are, could be just 2 of you, and start raising money.
Right.
It feels good. It's really very satisfying to do that.
Can I also say we're going to be doing a fundraising appeal so that we can afford to extend the app to other countries, but also to launch this clinical trial service, concierge service, and to further the research that we're doing from the app. And I'd love to see if I could, if any of you were interested in having some ideas with us about what might be fun to do.
Think about that one.
Right.
So we were thinking like, well, you might have seen a couple of breaking eggs on heads. We were thinking like how successful the ice bucket challenge was for people with ALS.
Right. I did that.
Did you?
I did it on Times Square because that's where my office was.
Oh, yeah.
I stood on Times Square with 2 other people from my office, and we put the buckets on our heads, and can't do that now with Optune, unfortunately, but.
Right.
Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, we did it.
And then we were thinking, you know, what we need to crack this disease is we need really clever people, like really clever scientists. And also there's this research that you might have seen on the OurBrainBank group I posted. It was done ages ago that suggests that only very clever people get glioblastoma.
Oh, I saw that.
So we do the egghead challenge because we need eggheads to crack the disease.
Right. We're the smartest.
Bunch of eggs on our head.
We're the smartest people. That's why we got it. That's what it was. It's crazy. Yeah. It's pretty funny, actually.
But actually, if you do crack an egg on your head, I can say it's a little bit painful. So I don't think we'll be doing that. But, you know, but it would be great to do something that's enjoyable to do. And, you know, maybe we could walk around the whole of Manhattan for the day or something.
Yeah, we can come up with something.
Or we could also do like a kind of a dance-a-thon. You know, you can dance from your chair, or you can dance on your leg, whatever. You know, just do something that's kind of a little exercise-related, health-related, but it's also fun to do. And have a celebrate life party.
Well, that's a good thing. Celebrate life. I mean, are we going to do something on that day, on the 17th?
I don't think our brain bank can because it's too near. We're so overstretched. We're very, very under-resourced and overstretched.
Right.
But what we can do is do this survey. We'll issue it on Monday.
Okay.
And we'd really love you to take part. And then we'll launch the findings of that. We'll probably then launch a petition. And we also want to make a big fuss, but we want to do this with you. We want to do it together. We want to do it as a community.
Well, I think on that day we should all be on social media and just just saying, you know, whatever, this is our day. And
well, we thought that how about this? You know how some of you said like celebrating, Martha, are you there? What was it we were asking people to say? I'm surviving glioblastoma because. Right?
Yes.
So we thought we could do a similar thing, but we could say like, I'm raising awareness on Glioblastoma Awareness Day. I want you to know. And then you could either say a fact about glioblastoma, like the fact that in 100 years since the term glioblastoma was first used, I think it was in 1926, and in almost 100 years, we've only got 4 new, one device in almost 100 years. That's how little progress has been made.
Right.
Or we could say, you know, it's Glioblastoma Awareness Day, and I want you to know that I've been living with this disease for 3.5 years.
Right.
I want to carry on. You know, you could do whatever you want, and we could make series of little posts and videos.
Do you know there are 700,000 people in the United States with some kind of brain tumor?
Oh, really?
Not all glioblastomas, but at the present time, yes. It's amazing. I know. That's what I learned a lot on Capitol Hill because they gave us really concrete information, what we could say, what we couldn't say, and lots and lots of facts.
Yeah. 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 So it's. I want to look at the other points we got on the survey, like. Shouldn't we have access to and funding for complementary and integrative therapies? I think psychological support when you're diagnosed would be good for families.
Well, okay, so let me say something about that. There's a bill that was introduced that we had to talk about on Capitol Hill. It's called PCHETA. It's the palliative care and something hospice. It's PCE, whatever it stands for. And the idea was that the minute you're diagnosed, you and your family should have what they call palliative care.
Absolutely.
Right, and that's a bill right now in Congress.
Okay, so we should put that in.
Yeah, it's called PCHETA.
Yeah, so we're talking to NBTS tomorrow. We need to find out more of their legislation, what they think, so we can include this in here.
Right. I mean, it's really important that because so many people need psychological help, their family needs how to talk to your children. If you're, you know, when you're diagnosed, if someone has little children, And
we think that like, I think it also, you know, it's really weird. You can buy it, when you buy a Hoover or when you buy a kettle, you can go online to get, because this is what people say. You can't do that when you get brain cancer. You can't find out. You know the reputation of a hospital, but you don't actually know whether the people who are with GBM who are treated there do better or worse than in another institution.
Yeah, how would you know? But the thing is, we're all so different.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's hard to compare that.
Yeah, but you can also say, I think you can say, we've got some neuro-oncologists or not.
Yeah.
You know, you could say we can offer MRIs or not. You know, we can offer surgery if needed or not. I mean, just the basic, you know, UCLA publishes its data. Nobody else does. So
well, like Penn offers proton radiation, which many other places don't. It's just, I mean, some places do, but even New York City, you can't get it. You have to go to Somerset, New Jersey for it.
Yeah.
Like a little crazy. Yeah.
So, but if hospitals had to be more public about, you know, what they provide,
what they offer,
and if they could do, I mean, if UCLA can, I think you can find a way to take into account the variance, so that you can say, on average, this is what happens when people come here.
Right.
You know, because otherwise, from a patient perspective, you're not given you're not able to make an informed choice.
Look, I said to my doctor when he suggested Optune, and you know, Optune's like a big deal to like, it's a lot like psychologically to want to do. And I said, do you really think I should do it? And his answer was, those who use it fare better than those who don't. And I read on some of these Facebook pages, the doctors say, oh, don't bother, it doesn't do it. It's terrible.
Yes. Well, they question the methodology of the research.
Yes. Well, Medicare is definitely doing that because they are not paying for it. It's a big deal. I haven't paid anything yet, but Medicare hasn't. Novacure has paid for all of it. Medicare has not.
We should also have easy access to full patient care.
Wait, I didn't hear that. Say it again.
So say you're treated in a hospital and you're not happy with the treatment that you're getting. In order to go somewhere else, you need to have access to all your medical records.
Yeah.
And for many people, that's quite difficult. You know, the hospital can be very slow about responding.
Yes, they can. And sometimes they want money for it. Yeah.
So we think we've got to get away with that. We've got to get rid of that and make it easy for patients to be able to access their medical records. Then they can go to better places for treatment. We think there should be support for travel and accommodation costs if you have to travel somewhere for treatment.
Yeah, that's huge.
Right? So there's, you know, and we think that overall we'd like to see an increase in government funding for medical research into glioblastoma.
That was the whole Capitol Hill thing.
Exactly. And so if we can put this together in a package and say this is what people who are living with the disease or taking care of people with the disease are saying. You know, this
who's writing all this down?
I've got it here. So
okay.
This will come to a survey
on
Monday morning. You will get a survey with all these points, and we want you to rate them and say what you think is really good, what you think is less important. I mean, what's really important, what's less important.
Perfect.
And then add anything that we've missed or any comments. And then we will ask people, we'll just give people until July the 10th, and the more responses, the better. And then we can publish it around Glioblastoma Awareness Day and say, we the people, we the patients.
Right. Perfect.
Okay. And we can all do it. And we can do it with these little videos, you know, and post it. And just if we can just get more and more people doing it. It's like, you said, like, you know, you just saying you went to NBT and it felt great. Doing it feels great, right?
Yeah.
We just need more.
And then I was also interviewed, did I say this already? I was also interviewed on CBS Channel 3 in Philadelphia. Yeah, by like a health reporter. I put it on Facebook, and she really explained glioblastoma. She explained the Optune thing. It was myself and my doctor and this woman, you know, the reporter. It was great, and a lot of people saw it. Like a lot of people saw it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So you got to get out there somehow. I don't know how it happened. I mean, somehow people find me. Now I'm going to be interviewed by the person who's going to be the MC for the Race for Hope in Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia Race for Hope. The MC is from one of the radio stations in Philadelphia, and she's interviewing me and two other.
Is that Debbie Colton?
No, it's Michelle somebody. It's from WOGL.
Okay.
You're a Philly guy, yeah.
Right. I've spoken to Debbie Colton before.
I think she might have been the one that was the MC last year.
She was, yes.
Yeah. No, this is somebody new. They switched gears this year. I'm on the committee, so yeah, you were supposed to come, but I don't know. I had told you about the committee, and then I told the Kramers, and they said, "Oh, we'll get them there." But I don't know. You know the Kramers.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a tough time with transportation.
No, I know, and they said that they would make it happen, but I guess that I don't know what happened. That was like a couple months ago, so I don't know what happened. But okay. Right. Just as long as you come out, you're going to be out for the race, right?
I will, yes.
Yeah, good. So I will see you there. I'll find you.
Yes. I am on the picture that they send out for raising money.
Right. Yeah, I'm in there too, but I'm kind of hidden in the back, but you're like right in the front, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was all the survivors. I think it's the survivors picture from last year. Yeah.
Right.
That's terrific.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're doing okay. You know, it gives us all something. It gives us purpose, just like OurBrainBank for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
It gives us purpose. You know, I'm not working. I got to do something. So
what if would you accept being like could we say everybody in the group and others, you know, you're OurBrainBank ambassadors, and give, you know, we've got these very cute little badges, and give you a pack, a bit more information about what we're doing, and they ask you to feed in and contribute and advise on a kind of formal basis.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
I mean, I'm wearing the pin and people ask about it. My husband has it on his lapel of his sports jacket, you know, and yeah, people ask us and we explain it.
Okay, brilliant. And then we can get kind of like some of these ideas of activities and, you know, whether it's lobbying, like Bratton's been talking about,
right.
It's also about doing the research and the survey, and also on the fundraising. It'd be great because we feel like we've made incredible progress in a year and a bit, but we need more help. We need more help. And, you know, we've got a lot of fundraising applications in, and we've got some ideas to raise funds, but at the moment it's almost entirely voluntary.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of dying under the sea of emails. You know, just so much to do.
Right.
But I also think that it's, you know, what's really interesting is that our medical advisory team say consistently that we patients are the freest agents in this whole complex medical, scientific, regulatory environment in which we operate. Because the doctors always have an allegiance to the institutions that employ them, right? And we don't. Our allegiance is to ourselves.
Right.
And therefore we can speak with a freedom that can be hard for them. It can be hard for them to always recommend trials. If you're working in a really big centre where we're mostly treated, our doctors are very eminent and senior. And it's easy for them to recommend that we do a clinical trial that somebody else is sponsoring in another hospital. But other parts of the country, it's not like that.
Some people don't, yeah, it's really sad for some people that are in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I had an interesting situation, just got out of the oncologist. He was pumping me for information about different drugs to use with other glioblastoma people. He's just a regular oncologist. That I tell them, you know, it's not my deal, you know, neuro-oncologist is better. But he just goes, I'm just putting him on what you put him on. Wow. So, you know, we were just discussing different drugs, but it just told me how uninformed people are. I mean, doctors, even doctors.
They don't even know about
it. Do you have access to a neuro-oncologist?
Pardon me?
Do you have access to a neuro-oncologist?
Oh, no, I do. I'm treated at Duke. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. I commute to Duke in North Carolina. It started out commuting every 9 weeks. And then after you have some clean scans, they stretch it out. So now I basically go twice a year.
That's great.
But I get my MRIs locally, right in Jacksonville, and I Federal Express them to Duke. And my neuro-oncologist at Duke signs off on them, and then she or her nurse personally calls me and tells me how the scan is every 8 weeks. And then my chemo and my blood is tested here locally. So I kind of have two teams.
Right.
Michelle, yeah. What happens to you? Are you not? Is your daughter not able to see a neuro-oncologist?
Yes, we go to Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, and there actually is only one neuro-oncologist there, but he was at MD Anderson in Houston for 12 years, and we went out to Houston initially, and the doctor there recommended the doctor we see at Mayo Clinic.
What is his name?
Kurt Jekyll. Jaeckle, and he is fabulous.
Yeah, we were just speaking about him today.
Huh?
Yeah.
He's been a gift to us. He's been the kindest, most wonderful doctor. Jennifer was in a clinical trial. I mean, 12 years ago, there wasn't much of anything available, and they were still looking at dosing of Temodar. And so she was in a clinical trial 5 days versus 23 days. And that was kind of state of the art 12 years ago.
Right.
So we've come so far. I've often wondered, though, why there isn't something somewhere where people want to look at those who have survived for any length of time, because there's got to be some reason that she has survived this long.
Yeah. And we have on the board.
I just feel like that would be so helpful to the field, because there's something going on there that's worked for her.
I agree. I mean, it's like we have on our board of our brain bank a woman called Meredith Moore, who survived 14 years.
It's amazing.
Wow.
I mean, this should be an area of work. I think there are many people who are calling for that. I mean, and also I think that in Meredith's case, I think she was on, was it the original DC Vax trial at Duke? And she was the only, I think she and one other survived from the original trial, but they don't know why. So again, I think that this is why with our brain bank, at the moment, we've got all this data from people tracking their symptoms on the app. When we launch our clinical trial service, we'll be asking people to access their medical records. Then we can put that on the app securely. And then we can really get to work in seeing what are the differences in genetic mutations, what are the fine-grained differences that mean that some people are doing really well and some not. And if we can contribute that data set to people like the Biden Cancer Count Me In, all the medical researchers, that is the quickest way we'll all benefit.
Sure.
I just think that it can be really hard for some people to do that, but it's easier if people like us can work with them to help that. And, and spread the word. This is how you access your records. This is a good place to send it to. And you can trust us because we're patients. We're all in this together. We're not a commercial enterprise. We're not about making money. We're just about saving lives.
Right.
But maybe this doctor might be interested in joining our advisory board of medical and technical advisors. Because we have neuro-oncologists from Dana-Farber and from Columbia, but also, maybe also, Lynn, I was thinking like, your great guy at Penn, we need to expand those bodies. Anyway, that's all in the future. There's so much to do.
Oh, it's a good idea.
But it
Put
would
that on the list.
Yeah.
That one shouldn't be forgotten. That's a good idea.
Okay. Expand the medical advisors.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot about Nicholas Blondin online.
Yes, he's really nice. Yeah.
I met him at Head to the Hill. Yeah.
Met him at the Society of Neuro-Oncology last year. He's really, and he's very active on Twitter.
Oh, okay. And he's like 12 years old or something.
I know. It's crazy.
My doctor's that age too. I mean, like he's so young.
Yeah, mine is too.
Yeah.
Bit scary.
Yeah. Well, they've got all the new stuff and they've got the brains. So.
But that's good. That's great.
Yeah.
I thought he was one of the ones that was doing the cannabis trials, but I might be wrong.
No, I think you might.
I think that Katie Zarena had her mother on it.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up to the hour. Is anybody else got any questions on any of the stuff that was just on our brain bank stuff? Like I think it's clear about sending this survey around. Watch out for it on Monday morning.
Okay.
And please share, because the more people that we get filling out the survey, the more weight it will have. And in terms of making a noise on Glioblastoma Awareness Day, I think we're talking about little videos. Glioblastoma Awareness Day, I'm raising awareness because.
Is there a way that it could be typed out or formatted to explain so we could share it to other GBM Facebook pages to try to draw from that group instead of just That'd be good.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, because sometimes I think like when we just repost it, we're always the ones repost it. It'd be great to get other voices. So we will take that as an action and provide some words to you all that you can adapt, and an image maybe, and then you can just send around.
Oh, it could go to Brain Tumor Talk. It could go to Thrivers and Survivors. I mean, there's like 6-10 groups now.
There's an Optune one. Yeah.
But if you say you're an OurBrainBank ambassador, you know, you're in this, on it.
Yeah.
If you want, you don't have to. It's just, you know, just like the more we get the name out, the more it helps us all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will make a post both in our group and on our the public page that anyone can see. Obviously, in our OurBrainBank group, it's only members of the group. But the one I'll put on the main page, I'll put a link to that too. Then you can share that anywhere you want. The only thing is, I'm always worried we're not reaching people. I feel like there's a whole world of people out there who are not on social media, and I've had people tell me this directly. And how do we reach those people? There's just thousands and thousands of people who we would love to get their input.
How about an email?
Yeah, we can email. That's a good idea. I'll do that. And then you can forward. Do you all email with people, other patients and caregivers?
I don't know. We need to figure out how to reach the people that aren't
connected.
Yeah,
right. I think it's also the media. It's also like the stuff that Lynn's been doing, because there's media stuff people just are watching. If we could develop a little kind of, you know, here's how you reach your local media. Pick them up, tell them this is happening, tell them your experience. And with July the 17th, that's quite a good way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, you know what we need is we need access to contact details of all the local media places around in the States.
Yeah, maybe people could send in, like, if you've had any contact with local media, like Lynn, the person who did your, because then I think it's much more effective if we just mail out a bunch of press releases that just go into the ether. But I think if we address an email to one person or a phone call and say, you know, do you remember Lynn Oxenberg, and you know what we're doing now, and so having a personal contact always helps a lot.
Right, send me an email to remind me to do that.
Okay, I'll do it right now.
Oh, you're gonna be. What do you think? What do you think, Michelle? How's this all sounding to you as your first call with this merry band?
Excuse me, I'm having sinus problems today. Well, it sounds interesting. It sounds really big. And the 17th is also the day that Mueller is testifying. And,
I know, honestly.
But
this will be more
that's already
interesting.
Who knew that would be happening on that date? But I think it all sounds very good.
There's also something happening on Capitol Hill that day that I was invited to, but I can't go. But I can't remember what it is. Something to do with brain cancer. Well, it has to do with Medicare ruling on Optune.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
I think I'm going to do my MRI on that day.
Do you know what? The world is coming together around July the 17th.
That's right.
Everything's happening. Yeah. Yeah.
But Michelle, that's good to hear. I mean, it is big. We're trying to make it big. I think
that's wonderful.
In a way, I just, you know, my background is in strategic communications. I worked in a big PR company, but I worked in non-profits before. And what I like to do is take an issue and think, okay, how are we going to move it? How are we going to change this? And so, you know, I'm really frustrated that I had to give up my career, but I get so much reward from working on developing this because I get to meet you. I get, you know, all these new friends, we didn't know each other before. And what we're working on is so important because I see it as part of my therapy treatment. You know, it makes me feel good. And so when I got my diagnosis, I thought, what am I going to do with this? I know this is actually just a license to be crazily ambitious because I literally have nothing to lose.
Right, I agree.
So why not?
Well, when Jennifer was diagnosed so long ago, I had no idea where to turn. I mean, we went to the hospital and they said, your daughter has a mass and it's big. And I didn't know what to make of that. And a friend who lives in Israel called our rabbi, who called a mother whose daughter had a GBM tumor. And then there were 2 other mothers. And if it hadn't been for them, I wouldn't have known where to turn. I didn't know next steps. And I called Duke. I talked to Dr. Friedman while we were out at MD Anderson. And he said, I don't want to see your daughter for the first round. And I had no idea what that meant. That was, right after surgery. And he said he basically wanted to see her when it returned. And it's like, there's so much information available now that just wasn't available then. There are places where people can turn and get information about next steps. But if it hadn't been for those mothers, I don't know what I would have done. I would have probably stayed here in Tallahassee for treatment. And my daughter wouldn't.
You've just made the case for our brain bank. This is connecting people experiencing and directly affected by the disease together. And just hearing what you went through there and how powerful it was that other human beings, your friends, these other women helped you, just underlines that, because we have a perspective that's really hard for others to see. I don't understand how my neurologist thinks and his perspective and all the challenges in his time. That's for him and his lot to understand. But I have a greater affinity with all of us on this call because we have this shared thing.
Do you think our brain bank could create something like a buddy system? Because
yes.
I've heard of this, but I don't know of that many, but I've heard of a couple. I think Michael Yutkin's wife.
Marnie. Yeah, I met her in
Yes, I think they were connected.
Corey.
Yeah, she's lovely. I love Corey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The only one I've known that's been connected with I think it was Imam's Angels or something to that effect. But
we've got a mentorship thing going.
We could do a takeoff of that concept and incorporate it in my brain bank.
Brilliant idea. Let's do it.
Because and that would be for the people that aren't on social media.
Yes.
Right?
But how do you let them know about it?
Yes. Well, we're going to have to figure it out. That's the missing part, but it's an idea.
I think it's a great idea.
But I think even if people are on social media, having that connection with someone else could be so valuable.
Yep. Yeah.
This is where we get to get back to the getting publicity, because the woman who emailed us, she had read an article, or her husband had read an article about Jessica, and then she just reached out via email. But she said, I don't do social media. She said, I hate social media. I think it's evil. I don't want to do it, which I get. But that's why it's really important if we get more articles, if we get in USA Today, the Wall Street Journal, that would be a really huge help. So everyone think about if you have media contacts, and send them to me at martha@OurBrainBank.com. And if we get some articles placed for July 17th, it'd be really good.
So we're going to have this little survey, which means we're going to have a story. And we're going to have a story, and we're going to say to journalists, not only do you get a story, this is what we mean, but you get stories of real people. We're the people living with the disease that took the life of John McCain and Ted Kennedy and so many of these politicians.
Joe Biden,
exactly.
You could go, this is glioblastoma.
Yeah. Yes.
Or something.
This is glioblastoma. That's very, very smart.
Oh, Jessica, I have to apologize to you for plagiarizing your your testimony for, what did we just write?
Oh, yeah, for Optune.
Yes, so it was so good. I just started cutting and pasting, but then it left yours at the bottom. I couldn't get rid of it. So whatever they think when it gets there, but I changed a lot of words, but I did definitely plagiarize. But
I'm very flattered. It's
okay.
You know that isn't plagiarism or copying is a sincerest form
of flattery.
Yeah,
Right. No, you said it so well that I just sort of put my stuff in between, and so
I'm delighted. I'm very happy. I have to say, I do think that, Hallie, you've just hit upon a really interesting idea.
Which one?
This is glioblastoma. That's all you have to do. This is glioblastoma. You know, you can show ourselves.
Show pictures of people. Yeah.
We are people.
We should have like a poster or something. This is glioblastoma, and then lots of pictures of all of us.
This is glioblastoma.
Yeah, I'm there too.
Right? And, you know, many of us are at very different stages of the disease and different levels of treatment. We can just say it.
And it could be, well, it could be the squares like we're looking at on our computer, and it could have, this is glioblastoma, diagnosed December 2017, diagnosed some, you know, whatever, diagnosed yesterday, you know, and it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That would be good. And where are we going to put that though? If we could afford to take out an ad, like in the New York Times. Which
my God, let's do, wouldn't that be so fantastic?
That's with all pictures of people with glioblastoma. And
well, we don't need to figure out where we're going to put it yet. We need to come up with information. And once the information comes up, it's going to be so fantastic that it's going to be easy to find a place to place it.
Well, the problem is paying for it. I know about media.
We can do this for free.
Okay. We can do it for free. Well, on Facebook for
the
free.
Ice Bucket Challenge was just a free little viral video.
Yeah, that's true. It could just be all over social media, just like what we're looking at here, but like maybe more closer up, like headshots.
100.
I like indicating the dates, the different dates.
Because some people are 12 years ago, some people 18 months, somebody else is.
People have a preconceived notion that it's very fast.
What do we say? This is glioblastoma, surviving since January 2016?
Yeah, or just diagnosed and the date, something like that.
Diagnosed January 2016.
Right, diagnosed December 2017, diagnosed, you know.
Yeah.
There were people that were diagnosed 2 weeks ago. I mean, we got to find all those people though that are willing to be in this photo shoot.
We each find. I mean, how many of us are on the call?
Well, we lost Mark. He disappeared. Rose is there, but we can't see her face.
That's because I'm lurking in the background, just listening.
Oh, okay. Well,
okay,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 7. We have 7 that are showing. Mark.
I can find tons of people. You just need to figure out what what do you want people to submit? A headshot.
A headshot and the date they were diagnosed.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you start out with just a little blurb saying we're working on this deal.
Well, let's continue this on the group because I think it's, this is glioblastoma. But do we want to say, because it's Glioblastoma Awareness Day, do we want to have something that says behind you like Glioblastoma Awareness? I want you to be aware. I was diagnosed in January 2016.
But it doesn't have to be videos. It could just be headshots and right across like here.
Words that we want. I agree. It doesn't have to be videos.
There's some people are sort of gun shy about that, but yeah, I think it could be like these boxes, like we're looking at here. Is that what everybody's looking at? Boxes with people, but with headshots, like like you see that. I mean, I know like on certain times in Israel, they'll have all the pictures of everyone that's been killed in a war, and they'll have like 1 million pictures, and it's just riveting, to see how many people. If we could get a lot of people who have, if we just have 10 of us, it's not going to be enough.
I remember someone did a Facebook thing in one of my groups and said, if you want to be on the prayer wall, give us your name and your city. Okay. Oh my God.
If you want to be on the Glioblastoma Awareness Day wall,
Or a poster or something. Call it a
People
poster.
were can you please add my brother? Can you please add my
Right.
kid? I mean, they were just so excited. And
Right.
all it was is putting their name on some sheet.
Right. That's what we should do. We should say, if you want to be included, send your headshot here, and somewhere it could say glioblastoma awareness, and somewhere it could just say this is glioblastoma, because it's important to show that it's women, it's men, it's old people, it's young people,
Children, yeah.
Black people, and
It's
white
that
people,
wide,
green
it's
people.
everybody.
It's everybody.
Rich, poor, the works. Where do we show it? Yes.
What do we?
Does everyone, I hope everyone gets our newsletter, and I did that for the I'm Surviving. We asked people.
Oh, that's me and my husband.
Exactly. So I made a little grid exactly like.
Oh, that's what we should do. Have a grid.
So so we can definitely do that again. And I think, and this is nice too that that Beth, she held up a sign. You see what it is?
Yeah.
My name is Beth. I have been.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's Beth Stevens.
Yeah, I've been living with GBM since September 2013. So if we ask people to make a sign, hold up a sign like that, that would be really, and then we could put the, that would be great.
And somewhere it should say there is still no cure. Because if somebody sees that somebody's been living for 12 years, they're thinking they're in remission, they're cured, they're done. It has to be very clear.
Yeah.
We might live with this, but we're still living with it.
Living with no cure.
Living with no cure. Somewhere it's
That's a good quote, Jessica.
I think we're looking at the new OurBrainBank advertising agency with Lynn and Hank.
I'm just, you know what? I don't want to, no pun intended, but this is a good brainstorming session.
Yes, it's a very good brainstorming. And we don't even have to crack eggs on our heads.
No, but we got to put it out there. And if it doesn't get out there by July 17th, it's okay. As long as we do it right.
For weekly calls between now and then, it's only about 3 weeks.
But I mean, just as long as we do it.
We've got to keep it. We've got to keep this conversation going.
We got to keep the idea going, and we got to get out there, and somebody's got to put. It wouldn't be me, but like maybe Martha or you, whoever's the guru here, can put it out on to all the sites. You know, like all the Facebook pages that we're
We've all got to do it. We've all got to do it. If Martha does some wording on our Facebook group,
well, that's fine. I'll
copy and paste and put it on others, right?
What? Yeah. What did you say that again?
If Martha puts a post on the OurBrainBank Facebook group,
we can share it.
Words, then you can share, or you can just copy and paste those
right.
words.
And we'll
you also want it by email so that it doesn't. You don't have to fart around doing the cutting and pasting.
Right, but it has to be very clear where they send their photo.
Yeah.
Okay, like an email address or something.
No, we want to show people that it is possible.
Yeah, because it is.
Right, and you want to show people who have no hope, that are just newly diagnosed, that here we are still.
When you were diagnosed, if you'd seen that, can you imagine how fantastic that would have been? Can you imagine how fantastic it would have been when you were diagnosed? If you'd gone on Facebook and seen pictures of phenomenally good-looking people.
Right.
Looking really well, smiling.
All right, let's do it. I gotta go because I have to be somewhere.
Okay, yeah. Are we okay?
We're good. We're good. Martha, you have your action plan now. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, Michelle, it was great that you could join. Love to Jennifer. Please join again. And Rose.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice
meeting you for joining. We'd love to actually see your beautiful face next time.
Okay.
And Rose, you and I should be in touch since we're both here.
I know. You've been on my list of people I needed to call.
You can call me anytime. I still have your information like on my desk. So
and in all that spare time that we don't have, one day we'll do something about OBB ambassadors and make sure everyone's got a badge and get the bloody word out there. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Once we got through today's, we'll organise a Celebrate Life party. Yes?
Yes.
We'll raise lots and lots of money.
Bye.
We'll do lots and lots of this. Lots of love. Cheers. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.